Donc, bonjour tout le monde. Je suis présentement accompagné de Joe Vrbetic, gardien de but du Rocket de Laval et des Lions de Trois-Rivières, qui est présentement en fait avec le Rocket de Laval sur un rappel. Hi Joe, thanks for taking this time this afternoon for this little interview. How are you doing?
Good. My pleasure to come on for you.
Great, great. I'll start with something I'm curious to know. Where does this passion for the goaltender position come from? In other words, why being a goaltender?
Yeah, I think just growing up, I started as a player when I was really young. My first couple years of hockey, and I started to be a goalie. And as a kid, I just really enjoyed it. And I think as I got older, just kind of like the job of being the last guy out there on the ice and obviously protecting the net. I like the pressure of it, and it's been pretty fun.
At what age did you switch from a player to a goaltender position?
I think I started playing when I was four, so I think like my second year when I was about 5 years old, I started to be a goalie.
Okay, okay, you were pretty young. Um, and You were drafted in the seventh round by the Canadian in 2021. What was your reaction when you were selected?
Yeah, I was super excited. I mean, obviously getting drafted to Montreal, it's one of the most historic organizations for even not just hockey, any sport. So I was super excited, and for me, it's pretty close to home, so that's another plus. But um, that year before my draft year was the year during COVID where the OHL didn't have a season. So that whole year I wasn't able to play. And going into the draft, just, kind of all expectations or not expectations, just, everything could expect anything really. Just, waiting for my name to be called and finally got called by Montreal and I was super happy.
Yeah, you're right. For the people who are listening, you were drafted after the COVID season. So, did not playing have an impact to on your development as a goalie?
Um, I don't think I had a huge impact. The next year, after my draft year, after that year, I was still in North Bay, and I thought I got back to where I was before when I played. So I think for me it was just trying to get on the ice as much as possible. It was hard because in Ontario, like it was things were getting shut down all the time. So just a lot of work off the ice, and then on the ice, just do the best I can to get out there as much as possible. And I think it all worked out in the end.
And as a goaltender, how would you describe yourself? And do you have any example of a goaltender who inspires you in the NHL or in the American Hockey League?
Yeah, so I think for me, obviously I'm 6'6", so I'm really big in the net. So I try to use my size as much as I can, and I think I'm a pretty calm goalie. Like don't get too high or don't get too low. Um, for me, growing up, my favorite goalie is has been Carey Price my whole life. So that's another reason why I was happy to be drafted here, but. I think with him, the way he plays too, he's just very calm and makes everything look easy. And I think I do some good parts in doing that, but I try to model my game after him.
Did you have the opportunity to talk with Carey Price since you were drafted by the Canadians?
No, I haven't. He's been, at the campsite in Broussard when I was there. I saw him a couple of times, but he was, during his when he was injured and just, getting back. So, I mean, I was super busy, obviously, with everything, and he was doing his own stuff. So, but I've a couple of times I've seen him, so it's been pretty cool.
Joe, this year you chose to turn pro rather than return in the OHL. What was your motivation for this decision to leave the Ontario Hockey League?
Yeah, I think for me, last year in North Bay we had a really good team and a pretty good playoff push. So I think I had a pretty successful year last year in the OHL. So, once I found out that, the Montreal organization wanted me to, turn pro and sign a contract with Laval, I thought that, for me, obviously being pro and playing pro hockey and, obviously trying to, become an NHL player one day, that's my dream. So I think taking, that extra step, right now, rather than going back to the OHL again, like, as many years as you can, that the experience helps. So I think that extra year will be good for me for the experience and just, playing with older guys and, just same with the experience, like learning how to be a pro day in, day out for practices and games. So I think that's why I chose to come here this year.
Is it difficult to manage the traveling between Trois-Rivières and Laval because you got recalled a couple of times this season? Is it tough? Is it difficult to manage this?
I mean, it's kind of, obviously it's hard in a way because you're just, you don't know when I could get called up or, when I'm in Laval, you don't know when, I'm going to go back to Three Rivers. So, but I mean, it's the same as, it's kind of the same as bus rides. So, I mean, I'm used to the travel and I'm used to driving. So, it's not too bad.
Great. How would you describe your debut with the Lions this season?
I think pretty good so far. We had not a rough start to the year, but we had a really good team at the start of the year. A lot of great guys, and we were struggling to win and find those wins. But I think for me, I got a couple wins under my belt, and just trying to give the team a chance to win every day. So I think it's been good so far.
Joe, as I said before, you've been called up a few times by the Laval Rocket. What is the major difference between the caliber of play in the OHL, the ACHL, and the AHL? Is there a major difference between these three leagues?
I don't think a major difference. Obviously, as the leagues as the higher leagues go up, that there are some differences, and like you have in the OHL, there's obviously really great talent. There's a lot of great NHL prospects and everything like that. Like there's guys there, but I think in the AHL, it's still there's a lot of guys too on the team that are call ups for the NHL, the actual NHL team, and a lot of them are older and have that experience. So I think for the AHL, it's just fast hockey and everyone's smart. And for me as a goalie, my job is to stop pucks, and I think these guys, have the experience and everything is so precise with them that you have to be kind of on the ball every shot too if you want to make the save.
All right. And you have the chance to work alongside veterans with both Rocket and Lions. How would you describe your relationship with Kevin Poulin and Philippe Desrosiers?
Yeah, I mean, the start of the year, I was in Three Rivers, so me and Phil have gotten along really well. I mean, we were both at Montreal camp and Laval camp together, so I've been with him since end of September. So before the season started, I knew him for a while, and got to talk with him and um, work with him a bit and on the ice. So the start of the year was really good, and I'm really fortunate to have him as a partner because he has that experience that that I don't, and he's been really good to me and always supports me and just wants the best for me. So that's been amazing. And then up in Laval with Kevin Poulin, he's the same thing. Like he's obviously a big veteran guy and has been around the game a while. So same thing. It's awesome, working with him, and he's he tries to help me out when I can ask him questions whenever, and he's always there for me. So
Great to hear that. Um, Last question. What do you think would be the primary quality to develop into a professional goaltender?
I think just like I said about the game in the AHL, like everyone's so precise and so fast. So I think for me, being a good a big tall guy in the net, that if I can develop that same speed and that same consistency and everything like that day in and day out, then I think, I think my size is obviously unteachable. Like I'm lucky to have that. So I just have to use that and keep working on everything else and hopefully get there one day.
Great. That's it, Joe. So big thank you for your time, and I hope we'll meet again at Place Bell very soon. And I'll say have a good game on Wednesday with the Rocket.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.